Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I engraved these knives today, and they had an obstacle in the middle. They had a pin to hold the knife together. So I want to show you how I missed that pin and made it for sure. Now I don't have my picture size to scale because my pin was 3/16. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to make it red so maybe you can see it better, and that identifies a cut line. I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. And then I'm going to put graphic in the center of the page. I'm going to move my text out of the way. Put P, and then I'm going to, you can see it's not in the center really, but now what we're going to do is hold down the Shift key and kind of scale it down to the size of that pin. And then I'm going to put that in the center. So that tells me where it is. And then I'm going to move this graphic out of the way. And I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. That's pretty important because we're going to engrave center, center. And you can see I put a little bit of an arch to the Leah and the Beth. I drew an ellipse without holding down the control button and made it oblong. I'm going to hit P, and then I'm going to actually bring it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go to grab my text. I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to text a path, and I'm going to put it right on this path. Now we can actually select it all, go up to object, break the objects apart, and take away our path. And then I'm going to hit P and put the Arnold. And then I'm going to start moving and hold down the control button. And what the control button does, it allows me to stay. I'm moving my mouse quite a bit. Then I have the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and group it together, Control G. I'm going to hold down the Shift button while it's selected and grab a rectangle. I normally do in red hairline, so I'm using somebody else's program or file right now. So now I'm going to put this in the laser. I'm going to go ahead and group it together, Control G. And I'm going to use my red dot pointer. And I'm going to put my red dot, let's just make a red dot real quick. I'm going to put my red dot pointer in the center of that pin. And I'm going to engrave it center, center. And what's going to happen, it's going to trace this outline, and then it's going to go trace this box. And as long as you're inside your wood, which would be pretty important, let's go ahead and go P, put it in the center of the page. And of course, my knife is not scaled to object, but you kind of get the idea when you're looking at it. You could take this red dot on your pointer and it'll trace that square. That way you'll know that your text will be on the pin and it'll actually trace that out. Now we don't need the graphic anymore, and I'm going to run this and center your red dot right in the center of that star inside of that pin. Leave your laser bed open and run a vector file, a vector cut. And if it's inside that wood, you're good to go. Then use center, center to engrave it. Now in this particular case, I taped the knife down so it wouldn't move because I was going to run it twice to get really deep. But in case I made a mistake, it doesn't, it could be sanded off. But you can leave the hairlines as long as you make sure everything's a hairline in your laser bed, or you can actually, let's ungroup it. And let's take away the hairlines and gotta ungroup it again. Take all your hairlines away so you won't actually, well, it doesn't really matter, but if they are thicker than a hairline, they could engrave. And if you will run this center, center with that red dot there, it'll look like that graphic and miss that bolt because the laser is going to tell you where it is, and you can see that it misses. And then that way, if you need to move the one text down a little bit, just move it down a little bit to make sure it's in the wood. Move the herald up a little bit, kind of make it even. And then I would always run another test, select everything, hold down the Shift button and double click on the Shift key and make sure it's a hairline, and then run another test. I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.